the haunting lights of Brown Mountain. What's in a name? Would a rose by any other name smell as sweet? Would a corpse by any other name smell as ripe? I'll leave that one to you good people here today. But I think anyone here would agree that names do have some strange power and agency over us and the places we live. Take this place here, for example. A sleepy little town at the foot of a mountain range, worn smooth and humble with age. This place has a haunted and bewitched history, whose true nature is hinted at by its deceptively innocent name, Lenore. Named for a man and not a shadowy quality. Nonetheless, Lenore is French for the dark. An appropriate appellation for a local where wholesome sunlight cannot always reach every crack and crevice beneath the feet of Grandfather Mountain. The town of the Dark is nestled in a county which also has a name with a somewhat deeper meaning. Caldwell is naturally English, albeit very old. Caldwell is an older way of saying cold well. A coincidence, of course, as Caldwell is also named for a man and not the many springs and wells that penetrate the crannies and lower places. What sort of waters might one draw from this place, this dark, cold well? What sort of stories might spring from the fertile soil once drenched in the deluge of time and occurrence? Let's find out then, shall we? The Appalachian Mountains are some of the oldest mountains in the world. Among the Blue Ridge are such elder statesmen as Grandfather, Hawksbill, and Table. The strangest of these, perhaps, is Brown, an otherwise small and docile mountain quite nearby, who was notable only for one small paranormal aberration. I speak of none other than the infamous Brown Mountain lights, which sometimes haunt the ghoul-colored Carolina nights. These have been reported many times over the years in newspapers, radio, and television. Twice they have been investigated by the U.S. Geological Survey. A German engineer by the name of Gerard Weldebaum reported one of the strange lights way back in 1771. He wrote, "The mountains emit nitrous vapors, which are borne by the wind, and when laden winds meet each other, the niter inflames, sulfurates, and deteriorates." That sounds spooky enough. But I think it just means swamp gas. That's what I think it means. His report did spur lots of scientific interest in the area, though. But his theory isn't the only one by a long shot. Another investigation in 1913 concluded that the lights were nothing more than locomotive lights reflecting up from the Catawba Valley below. Another investigation in 1913 concluded that the lights were nothing more than locomotive lights reflecting up from the Catawba Valley below. But strangely, however, a short time later in 1916, a large flood destroyed the railroads and bridges in the valley, and the train stopped Power lines, streets, and roads were all impassable. The valley was dark, all except, of course, for the mysterious lights on Brown Mountain, which continued unabated. These lights were unsinkable. Whatever these lights were, they were not affected by the floods which drowned the other more sensible explanations. These strange apparitions, which sometimes appear to viewers on the Blue Ridge Parkway and other more isolated locations in the region, have made their presence known for over 100 years. First reported in 1850, the lights have never been properly explained. These mysterious lights appear dotting the mountain on some dark nights as thick as lightning bugs, but far larger. Colored blue, red, and other strange hues. From Wise Man's Gap or on Linville Mountain, you can see them clearly, but as you get closer, they disappear entirely. Such strange and erratic behavior has caused many people to think that these lights have more supernatural explanation. There are many stories about the Brown Mountain lights, each stranger than the last. One legend has it that once upon a time, a comely young lady lived on the mountain with her elderly father. The two were happy, but nature often plays tricks on those who are otherwise happy. The girl fell in love with a handsome young lad who would often visit her in secret in the darker hours of night. One such evening, the young lad was to come, but something or someone prevented him from doing so. No one knows what happened exactly, but the young man was never heard from again. The young maiden was heartbroken. She knew not her dear heart's fate, and with guilt and yearning went forth into the unforgiving night to find her lost lover bearing only a single lantern. She searched high up in the mountainside and down the lowest valley ravine, but alas, to no avail. She called his name under the unsympathetic sky, between claustrophobic trees and slouching hillsides heavy with conspiracy, with only her lonely echo as an answer. Such was her guilt and determination that the young maiden, whose name has been lost along with her lover, never gave up. But to this day, it is said that her lovelorn spirit still haunts the shadowy hills and valleys of Brown Mountain, still carrying her broken heart and single lantern. Still, others say that the lights are the spectral torches of young maidens who seek the souls of their lost braves after a great battle between two proud and ancient tribes lost to memory. There are yet others who insist in their more fevered and paranoid fantasies that the lights are evidence of celestial visitors of wholly different flavor. Extraterrestrials, aliens, or little green men, as some of them have been called. Visitors from far distant worlds, or traverse the great emptiness of the galactic void, bending the very rules of time and space, and astrophysical or metaphysical means beyond the understanding of mere mortals, such as we, for no other purpose than to tramp up and down a cold, damp mountain on a monkey-ridden space rock, circling a tiny and lonely star in the less fashionable fingertip of the galactic rim with a few dinky flashlights. Or perhaps having a hillbilly rave with some of their more hapless backwater victims. Perhaps I sound a bit skeptical, but as ridiculous a proposition this scenario may be, as silly sounding, as super intelligent and vastly culturally superior beings who travel unimaginable distances simply to play tricks on poor humans. You folks tell me if I'm talking too big now. Recounting strange things sometimes requires strange wording. What I mean to say is that aliens running up and down the mountains with glow sticks makes as much sense as the ghost of long dead folks wandering around aimlessly. The truth is, nobody knows for certain what these lights are. Some say that these things have been spotted on Old Brown Mountain by Cherokee and other indigenous people, but certainly further back when car lights and electricity weren't available to be offered up as explanations. Maybe the whole thing is just headlights. Maybe it's weather balloons causing all this ruckus. Maybe it's something altogether more mundane. Maybe, just maybe, the Brown Mountain lights are far, far more disturbing a thing than the human mind can possibly comprehend. Perhaps even just discussing them or simply sitting there and listening to someone talk about their strange manifestations is enough to bring the attention of unseen forces so malevolent that your total elimination is now their only choice. And now, all of us are doomed. Or, swamp gas. Could be swamp gas.